coming to that and the number of brands that you see, Victoria, I just really kind of wanted to ask you about this acquisition and retention strategy. And you see so many brands, from an investor perspective, what does good look like? And, touched on the Body Shop earlier and whether or not you see it within them, because they had an interesting journey, or elsewhere.
Absolutely. So just to second to what Rosie and Sophie were saying, I think the USP is the key. So you have a unique selling point, and that's what a lot of investors ask, and they ask the founder, what's your USP? And if you can't answer in 3 or 4 simple words, they're not interested, because that's, you can't just say I'm clean, efficacy, mid-price point for the, you need to be very specific. And so I think your USP is very important. What I think is also important, and what you touched upon as well, is building a community. And by whatever you build it for a subscription model or repeat purchases, because a subscription or repeat will drive volume. And that's what people look for as well. And that's from that as well, what I think it's very important, it's a brand equity. What's your brand equity? And if you discount, you lose your brand equity. And some brands, like, no offense to some, I don't want to name brands, but there's some brands that are always on discount, and they lost their brand equity. And so that's why you just stay. If people want it, they'll pay for it.
Yes.
And going back to the Body Shop, which is in terms of, they did, lots of owners did things wrong, but the one thing that we can see is that brand equity is always strong. Everybody knows the Body Shop, from the young kids to the mid-generation to the older people. So everybody knows it, everybody loves it. And when you could see when the Body Shop was acquired by an investment fund last year, not the one I wasn't part of that transaction, but when L'Oréal sold it to Aurelius, everybody was very upset. The community was upset. And you never seen something in the market. Nobody really cares, like a brand gets acquired, okay, good, next. But the Body Shop, it was really I would say, community uprising of that. But one thing, so the Body Shop had brand equity, but I think it's probably the only thing it had, because it had the stores, they had, about 50% of stores in the UK weren't profitable. If you ever go into a Body Shop, it was dim lighting. The staff, was very uninvolved. It was not. You didn't have an experience. It wasn't like going into Lush. They also, and the average consumer in the Body Shop going to the community was between 50 and 55-year-old women.
Wow.
So it was all the people who grew up with it and then shopped, but it didn't have the ability to attract young community. So the only thing it had was brand equity. That's it. But and when you've seen, for example, I don't know if you saw, but Lush last year, right about the sale, they came up with our version of the banana shampoo, our version on the avocado body butter. So Lush did, and for somebody to, but it was very, very open. It says our take on the Body Shop, which was, I don't know how legally it was perceived, but for somebody to copy you so openly, I think that also tells you how strong the brand equity is.
Yes.
So I would, 100% on what Rosie and Sophie said, your USP, your community, repeat purchases, subscription, but I think the foundation is still the brand equity. And if you lose that, you can't gain it back.
Yeah.
So
that's so true. And copying is the best form of compliment, isn't it? So, as long as you can rise above it and still remain in a leadership position.